and I apologize for being away, but here's the deal. It has been spring break, and out of this spring break, we have had the worst spring break weather. So I was prepared to have like a nice warm meal tonight for everybody, but that's not the way it's going to work out. It's already 70 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make soup out of greens. So, first thing I have is a London boil. And before I do anything, I'm going to beat the meat. Actually, let me lower you some so you can see what I'm doing. How's that? There we go. So, now when I cook this, it's going to be tender anyway. So really, there's no problem in making it even softer. And when I get down to it, I want to actually fork the meat like I did with the pork. So, it should actually work out pretty good. And let's face it, what harm has ever come from beating meat? So go ahead, I'm going to do this. Now, like I said, this is going to, it's going to get soft in, hold on, let me turn my music down. It's going to actually get soft in the liquid as I cook it. There we go. I want light music. I want to hear it, but I don't want it overpowering. Can you turn it up a wee bit? There we go. So, we don't want it, oh, I just lost my train of thought. Don't want the meat to be too tough that we can't fork it, but it's going to be soft anyway. So let me raise you up just a smidge. There you go. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use better than bouillon, which is something I actually quite enjoy because I don't really typically like I don't like buying animal stock, chicken or pork or beef, because the thing is, you can't control it. With this, I can actually control it. And every teaspoon equals like 1 8-ounce can. Well, with this, I can control how strong I make my stock, and what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be adding a lot of water to this, which is actually going to dissolve it. So, meanwhile, I let the flavor soak into the meat. So I'm just going to use a spatula, and I really don't want to contaminate this. So I might actually need a spoon here in a minute. And I'm just going to glaze my meat with it. Get it like in all the holes. And like I said, 1 teaspoon equals 1 8-ounce can of, what do you call it? Chicken or beef stock. So I know I have been away. It has been spring break. I'm not going to contaminate this too much. Nope. Actually, I'm not going to do that again. I'm going to use a spoon next. So there's a lot of teaspoons in there. This is going to be my soup pot. So I'm going to have a lot of flavor going on. Now, one of the things I love about soup is soup, just like chili, can be anything you want. I mean, it's basically kitchen alchemy. You're going to be cooking gold. I said I was going to use a spoon. It's okay. I didn't mess it up too bad. So now that I got this covered with bouillon, you can see how I have it. I'm actually going to move this aside and let it sit. So I have this aside. Let's grab another cutting board. I didn't prepare properly again. The story of my life. So I got another cutting board here. I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to heat this up a wee bit. Yeah, you can see how well I take the labels off of it. I'm actually going to take some butter. And let me grab a spoon. And I'm going to get the pot. going to put that on low. I think I'm going to actually put it on 2 for right now while I get all my veggies prepped. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use 2 types of garlic with this. Let me see if I can raise you up. Just, no, it's, oh, my phone's about to fall out. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing more than me, which what I'm doing is more important than me. I'm going to take my flake garlic again, and I'm going to put a little bit of flake garlic in. And the reason for the flake garlic is I want some bites of this to actually have just garlic. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my garlic press and get the fresh garlic going in too. Let me turn this up to 2.5. I grab my garlic. Now the thing about the garlic press is you got to remember that you always need 1 extra clove for what is lost. So just smash the garlic. Paper usually comes right off, and it is. And then I like to bite the tips off of it. Oh, I have meat sitting there. I can't throw it away. Okay, and then put it in the press. Press it in. And I don't typically use fresh garlic unless I have a garlic press, because that is the best way to do so. Otherwise you have a lot of wasted garlic. So I'm using my knife and I'm scraping off what's left. See, I still got garlic in there. And then I'm going to smash another piece of garlic. Again, paper comes right off. Throw it in the sink. I'm going to bite the root off with my knife. Okay. Press that in. And I got 5 cloves of garlic. And I got some flakes, which is okay. This is gonna be delicious. Like I said, kitchen alchemy. I'm basically going to make liquid gold. So my 3rd clove, and don't worry, it doesn't have to come out pretty. It's just, if you do not have a garlic press, you're gonna be sitting there chopping garlic. And as you can see, garlic is already super small and it is horrible to chop. So again, bite the tip off. And I'm going to go ahead, press that in. And I'm using the knife and I'm scraping off the tip. So let's see. Oh, I didn't break. Oh, yeah, I did. I broke that one pretty good. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Sorry, paper's coming off. And that's the whole point, is to lose the paper. So I'm going to press this in. And you can see where the garlic's already collecting around the edges. So I'm going to scrape that off with my fingers. I'll take a knife here in a minute and get it. Now, if you notice, I'm pushing a lot of my pressure on top of where it presses. Oops. Helps if I leave it on the burner too. So I don't end up breaking the handles, which is something that can happen. Let's see, this is a nice paring knife. So I'm going to take the knife, I'm going to scrape off what's stuck in it and kind of put this back over the press. That way it gets in there. I'm going to take my last clove and smash it. Actually, smash it. Why am I using my fingers and not my palm? There we go. Pops right off. When you do it right. Now usually I scrape it into the trash, but like I said, my trash can is kind of in use right now. So, my last clove. I'm going to take the small knife this time and just cut it off so it comes out of the press good. And usually I try not to get the expensive garlic presses because they break after a while. And scraping it all out. So when they come to the dollar store, well, Dollars Plus now, total ripoff. I always get my garlic presses from the dollar store, and they last about 6 months. Not too bad. So go ahead and put it in the sink. I'm actually stirring it up. You can see the butter and garlic. The butter is already starting to get down on it. So I got 2 onions. I'm gonna put these together after I clean off my knife. Put this aside. I've already used it. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna dice these 2 onions. Scrape that off into the sink. Okay. And that gives the also gives the garlic some time to roast, I guess. Because you don't want your garlic dry, you want your garlic to stay moist. Get the paper off the onion because the onion paper is disgusting. Okay, got that done. I'm going to go ahead and dice this onion real quick. If you can see what I'm doing, let me take you down just another smidge. Oh, I got some onion paper there. Pesky little bugger. Okay. Got 1 onion, chopped, diced, whatever. And then I'm going to start on my second one. Oops, make sure that blade goes all the way through. And then turn my onion and do it again. Now this is basically, what I'm going to be throwing in here is kale and bok choy. I used to live in a beautiful community, and one of the things was greens, which I absolutely love. I never really had greens, and it was something I wanted to try. And I was right once I tried it, and that onion is bad. You can see the mushy in it. Let me throw this one away and get another one. So let's try a fresh onion. Hopefully a good one. And the thing with greens is it's basically greens with meat or whatever you want to put in it. And I know this is going to be kind of like a step away from greens because I'm going to be adding veggies. So it's not going to be full-on greens, but it's not going to be full-on soup. Like I said, it's my kitchen, my magic, my alchemy. I am going to make liquid gold because it will be delicious. And actually, I had a very special plan for my soup today, which fell through, but we're going to have this soup anyway. So, a couple things I want to address, because today is a very special day. I have been very happy and busy for exactly a year today, which is awesome. So this soup is in memory of events, which I put the blanket up. I don't know if you guys noticed the blanket behind me. My house is beautiful and immaculate. However, your view is directly into our kid's bedroom, and I don't think the internet needs to see where my kids sleep. So the first meal we had together was we both actually ordered chicken marsala, and since then he actually learned how to make the marsala, and it's great. I'm just kind of marsalaed out right now. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put this onion, both these onions actually, in my pot. Whoop. Helps if I close that. And the reason I waited until I cooked both, or until I chopped both onions, was I want my onions cooked evenly. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let them simmer on that butter that I already have in the pot. Go ahead. Oh, that's really dry. The garlic soaked up. So rather than add more butter, I'm actually going to add some oil. Woo! Everything comes out of my thing. Which I could probably start adding water, but I don't want to add water until I have all of the things sauteed. I'm actually going to turn this up to a 4 now. I'll leave that out because I'm going to use that for water. Now while I have that cooking and sauteing, I'm going to add my favorite ingredient, the What's This Here sauce. Pour that over my onions and garlic. And I'm going to give that another shake to let it saute some. And while that's going on, I'm going to actually start on my greens. The first thing I have is I actually have some green onions, which I love green onions. The flavor, you can't get it anywhere else. And I've already pre-washed these. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the heads off of each of these. Don't have a trash can, that's right. Now when this soup's done, I'm going to serve it over noodles, because lucky me, I have an overabundance of noodles from yesterday. So that'll be awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them up until they start to split. Actually, I'm going to fully cut them, but I'm going to take that split as a sign. So chopping these all. Okay, so here's, you can start seeing where the split is. Hey! So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to knock this in the pot, which is already getting, you can hear it now. So while I have this here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish cutting this. Get something to stir this with because it is starting to saute. Perfect. So while I have that sauteing, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut up the rest of my green onion. And I'm actually going to set this aside to put on the soup later after it's cooked as a garnish. Which, don't get me wrong, this is a delicious garnish. I might actually throw another handful in. I think I will. Because that's a lot. I think, you know what, I've changed my mind. My soup, my way. And like I said, with soup, you can do anything you like. I'm going to throw these light pieces in the pot as well. Now that I got that going, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to give this another stir. And I'm going to set these green onions aside, like I said, for later. Now, with that being said, I'm going to take this beautiful London broil that I covered in Better Than Bouillon. And I'm going to lift him up and put him in the pot. And now I'm going to completely submerge him in water. And I'm going to get a good sear on him too. Already got some What's This Here sauce in there. So now as I put the water on, the bouillon already split some, which is giving it, you know, it's going to flavor the water. So another cup of water, and that should submerge my meat. I can probably pull you up. Oh no! That was stupid. I had parsley sitting right under the faucet. Okay, hold on. Derp, 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 derp. That's not going to hurt anything. Just going to be a little wetter than I expected. Let me pull these out before I make that mistake again. Water's hot. All right, hold on. I gotta pull these out one by one. That was a shit idea. I got so much wet, it's not even funny. All right, hold up. Technical difficulties. Gotta get the parsley out. Sorry, I'm blocking all kinds of images right now. And then I can pull the rest of this out. Yep. Without burning myself. Which it's not going to hurt the parsley. It might actually unload some flavor being soaked in hot water before I put it in the pots. So I'm not ready for the parsley just yet. My meat's not fully submerged. Let me heat that down some. There we go. Okay. Now what I got is, hold on, I can pull you back up. What I got is a nice little mix going on here between the greens and my London boil. I'm going to drain the parsley that I soaked. Actually, I'm going to wait a second on that. I'm going to add a little bit of more What's This Here sauce because I love What's This Here sauce. And then I'm going to add just a pinch of apple cider vinegar. Not too much, just a little bit. Probably more over my oven than I actually did in there. Then I'm going to add some brown sugar, which I forgot to pull out. Not a lot of brown sugar, just a little bit of brown sugar. Actually open the package before I use it. Last time I used brown sugar was Easter, and I am hammed out. I made that ham for YouTube, and then I made another one for my family, and it was just too much ham. So, I can smell the vinegar. That's a really good smell. So I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of brown sugar in, just to mix with the vinegar, because vinegar and brown sugar are just awesome together. They create like a great blend of flavor that's really hard to describe. So now that I got that in, put my brown sugar somewhere. Oh, there goes my spatula. I'm going to, what did I grab to stir with? I guess nothing yet, huh? I'll use a ladle and I'll stir this in and keep pushing the meat down into the water. Like I said, I have it on now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start basically peeling or ripping apart my parsley, which I got fresh parsley off my parsley plant, I guess you call it. So put that in. That will add some excellent flavor. I'm not going to throw all my seasons in yet, but I definitely want to get the fresh stuff in before I forget it's here. So I got parsley in. Actually, I can just dump this whole water in. That's fine with me, because my fingers are wet and I don't like my hands being sloppy. So set that here. I got some fresh rosemary, which I accidentally soaked that as well. I got basil here with some parsley. I've soaked all my, that was stupid. I can't believe I did that. I soaked all of my fresh herbs. So I have some parsley here that I'm going to rip up and put in the pots. Let me check this real quick. Awesome. I love basil. You can smell that as soon as I put that in there. So I'm kind of lining it up because I still want it ripped and bruised. Because when you bruise and rip it, it releases the flavor, and basil is just amazing. Just a little tiny bit of mint. Because what I want, even though it's soup and everything's going to blend, I still want things to have their individual flavor. Let me hit that button real quick. So, there's not a lot to rip, so I'm just kind of moving it with my fingers and bruising it. So I have that going. And then I'm going to set all this aside. I'm going to bring my cutting board back. I don't need this knife. And I'm going to start on my bok choy. Now, bok choy has a flavor all its own. Whatever reason, when you put bok choy in soup, it's awesome. There's no other way to say it. So I'm going to pull you back down so you can watch what I'm doing. And there is a little bit of raw meat still on this cutting board, but I'm not totally worried about it because it's all going in the same pot. So I'm going to somehow undo this. How the heck do they? You know what? Whatever. Haha! But yeah, bok choy in soup just has this amazing flavor that you really can't get anywhere else. And I love it. That's okay. It's not too rooty. So just, you know, cut it basically. Use all of it. Usually I get a bigger bundle, but that's all that the grocery store had. So that's what I got. And like I said, if you ever get bok choy, the cabbage, which it's a lot like cabbage, just with an entirely different flavor. So I got 2 more stalks left, or maybe it's like a hybrid celery. I don't know. But out of like all the greens, cabbage, actually I like red cabbage. I don't think that's totally a green. But red cabbage and bok choy are my absolute favorites. So now that I got that done, I'm going to go ahead and put this on. Before I do anything, I'm going to actually take some ginger, pour that over my bok choy because I want it to soak into my bok choy specifically. Beat that ginger in. And then, oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, I forgot this. Once you start adding liquid, I actually want to add a bay leaf. Let that soak in because the bay leaf adds flavor. I'm actually going to push this down into the liquid. And then I'm going to take some mustard on top of the ginger. Just a little bit, not too much. And then I want to add some paprika. Now I'm dump cooking, but like I said, it's your soup. Whatever soup you want to make. A little more what's this here. Which I love what's this here. Now I'm going to stir and submerge it. Let that go for a little bit. Now all that bouillon that I've soaked the meat in, it's flavoring the meat. I don't need to beat that down. I have enough liquid right now. It's getting all that flavor in. So now that I got my bok choy in, I'm going to start with my kale. Give this some, actually I'm not going to do my kale yet. I am going to switch it up because I got some water chestnuts from the Asian aisle. Let me see if the can opener works today. Woohoo! Now I forgot that I set this out. I'm going to go ahead and use it before I lose it. I got some chili powder. I'm going to put just 1 shake of chili powder in for just a little kick. And that kick releases some nice flavor. So this isn't actually kale because they didn't have kale. This is actually mustard greens, which has a different flavor, but you can still use it. And oh, water chestnuts, duh. I'm actually gonna take these sliced water chestnuts, if I can get the can open. Here's what they look like. And I'm gonna throw these in and stir them in. And that the water chestnuts add a flavor kind of all their own. It's not really their flavor. They just add a crunch. And they keep their crunch. And the crunch is awesome. So what keeps this from being greens as opposed to soup is I'm actually going to be adding a lot of veggies here in a bit. So I'm just going to rip up my hybrid kale or whatever you want to call it. Shouldn't take me too long. It gives the bok choy some time to soften. And I'm not too worried about like the size because it's gonna shrink and pull flavor and be good. It's gonna be delicious. Because the fun thing about soup is what you put in it. It flavors everything else. So while I rip this up, I do want to take some time. If you guys are watching this, I'm Ember Burns Black. I have my awesome cooking channel on YouTube. I pretty much just do cooking right now. I might branch off. I haven't decided yet. If you enjoy this, I ask you to please, please, please subscribe. If you'd like to support me, my PayPal is going to be in the description of this video. I'm also Ember Burns Black there. I have to put my Patreon back up, but I haven't gotten there yet. So those of you who have been donating, I love and I thank and appreciate you guys. The cost of food is rising. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm going to keep trying. So every little bit helps and makes a difference, and trust me, I use it. I mean, your donations definitely came through today. So, that being said, I also have a TikTok, also Ember Burns Black, where I try to do cooking on there as well as, you know, just have some basic TikTok fun like everybody does. I know a lot of you follow me on Instagram over there, but I am. It's not all food related on my Instagram. Whoops. Of course, you don't just toss a leaf into the sink, never to be seen again. So, I'm wasting some of it, I get it, but in the long run, it's not that expensive yet. So it's all good. And I can, oh man, I can smell that. That smells great. So I'm over halfway done ripping up my mustard greens. And these are going to taste just good. Actually, they're going to taste great, not just good. I got maybe 7 stalks left. I mean, it's not too bad. It gets rough. It gets tedious. And I don't like that leaf. And I washed all this before I started, so. Got that. And one of the things we just got a collard plant. So there's going to be more collards, which I'm excited about. I love collards and kale. Just greens in general are delicious. Yeah, I don't like that. That looks like cabbage. Okay. I got another one. 3 stalks left, so I'm not doing too bad. If you can see what all I got going on here, I got a lot. And I think people do chop off the stems and use the stems. I don't like that. I find the stems kind of brittle and not all that tasty. I see what this is. This is like, I think it's collard that got in the bunch. So now that I got all this ripped up, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to bunch it, and I'm going to throw it in. That didn't take long. Now there's a secret ingredient when using kale that one of my friends gave me. And out of love and respect for her, I'm not sharing it. And I apologize, but some things are just special. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to stir in the mustard greens, get it a little wet, and then I'm going to add some more water. And like I said, the water is going to stay super flavored because I put all that bouillon in to soak onto the meat and flavor the meat and marinate it and tenderize it. And what did I do with that cup? Here it is. So if I remember to turn the water off, I shouldn't flood my equipment this time. So I just want to make sure that I have enough to submerge everything. I don't want it, like, it can float, but I definitely want it wet and soaking, not just sitting on top of other stuff. So now that I got that, I have some tomatoes with some green chilies. Again, give it a little kick. I don't want to kick it up too much. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Come on. Come on, can opener. You got it in you. There it goes. It worked. All right. Now that I got my tomatoes open at last, I'm going to put the tomatoes in. And I'm going to use the liquid from the can as well to flavor it some. Now the next thing I'm going to use is, now when I stir, I'm keeping that London broil down there, but I'm still trying to pull the onions and stuff up, because what I'm going to let happen, and you can see my London broil right now if I pull it up enough. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. It's starting to shrink. I'm going to cut it up. I'm going to try to fork it later and then re-add the shreds into the soup. So, I splashed myself. So the next thing I'm going to add in is, I lost my train of thought. I got a veggie mix, and the reason I'm using frozen is I want the, I can't think of the word. I want the liquid in here to dissolve in the pot without adding more water to it. I think this is a steamer bag. Maybe. Yes it is. But, oh well. So that also allows the veggies not to cook too quick. Oh hey, I have a trash can again. I can use it and clean up. So now that I got my veggies in, stir this up. Now I'm going to add 1 more cup of water to this. Actually, I think it's watered enough. I am going to go ahead and add just a little cilantro. Cilantro, you gotta be careful because, hi, I'm live. I don't know who's there.
Me.
Okay. So I'm gonna add a little cilantro. The thing with cilantro is that some people it tastes like soap. Never use a lot of it. And then some thyme. And let me add just, I think that's everything I pulled out that I want to put in. It is. So I'm going to add 1 more cup of water. as you can see, this only took me 40 minutes. I'm going to let it cook for 2 hours, and then I'm going to pull apart the meat. Let it cook for another hour with the meat in it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cover it, and I don't feel like being on camera while I try to find the lid to this pot. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. I love you guys. Again, Ember Burns Black, you're welcome to subscribe. You're welcome to find my other outlets. Thank you for watching, and stay gorgeous.